What do the Backrooms and stolen Legos have in common? Tonight we're going to examine the way in which YouTube has transformed culture by changing cultural norms and relegating cultural gatekeeping a thing of the past. Let's dive in. We recently went and saw a movie called The Backrooms. Mm-hmm. And I'll give kind of a preface to what that is for people that don't know what that is, because it'll kind of help you understand like the context of the conversation. The Backrooms started many years ago. I think it was, 2018, 2019, with a post on 4chan actually, and it was a photograph of kind of like an office building with walls, and it had this pale yellow wallpaper and dingy like brown carpet and overhang fluorescent lights. And the whole idea was that, or the whole scary part is a creepypasta. The whole scary part of it is, well, you could no clip out of reality at any second and end up in this endless maze of, dingy yellow wallpaper and overhead, the buzz of overhead hanging lights and stuff like that. And it's like terrifying.
Just for reference, what is no clipping?
Yeah, that's a good question. So,
because I know what it is, but I know some people will be like, "What's that?"
Right. It's a popular thing in video games to find like spots where you can like no clip out of the map, which means
you're going through a barrier you shouldn't.
Yeah, if you think of a 3D software, like if you work in Blender, you're in a 3D world, and that's where you're building things in this 3D world. The world is essentially infinite. That's why it's called an infinite canvas. If you're like in Blender, you're making 3D models because it's essentially infinite. Well, when you're building a map of a video game, whatever that map might be, the outside of that map is impossible to get to because there's boundaries around the entire map that prevent your character from just walking off of the ledge of the map. Well, no clipping is when you find just a spot in the map somehow, some way. If you crouch 1,000 times or like punch 1,000 times at this spot, mm-hmm. you'll no clip out of the map, and then suddenly you're in the infinite space. Like you're outside of the map that's where the game was intended to be played, and now you're outside of it. Think of it like you're suddenly in outer space, and the Earth is the map that you're supposed to be playing in, but suddenly you find yourself in outer space. That's kind of what no clipping is like. And a lot of times when developers are creating these games, they'll create rooms that are outside of the bounds of the map, and they have all the assets that they need to build the game map. So let's say mm-hmm. there's cars, there's people, there's buildings. Well, they might have this random room just in a different part of this infinite space.
Like a storage room.
Yeah, like a storage room where they can find, I'm going to find this person, copy that person, and put that person where they need it to. That's kind of what the Backrooms is you suddenly no clip out of reality, like our reality is a video game, just no clip out of it, and you end up in the developer's room, mm-hmm. the Backrooms. Mm-hmm. And it's just an infinite maze of office space with nothing mm-hmm. in it. It's a completely empty office space. And sort of.
There's some things.
Sort of. And that's how the lore began. And from there it grew. From there it grew to, okay, well, there's different levels and there's different entities that are in the Backrooms, like mm-hmm. that you have to run away from. There's a whole plethora of different kind of entities, quote unquote, that you have to try and run away from. So now it's kind of like a survival game. And there's different levels. So there's endless office space, but then there's also the endless pools where it's just endless like pool spaces. And then
because another part of like no clipping outside of this like zone is that things don't always make sense either. Right, because it's just like there's not the same rules that apply when you're in the game versus outside of the game. For that example,
because the game space is like organized as it should be. It's like organized, everything works well, but the developer space, it's just like super.
It's just chaos.
It's a chaos. It's a mess because it's just kind of their paint palette.
Right. It's the play box, the sandbox.
The sandbox, exactly. And so the lore just kind of grew. There's different levels. There's like a level where there's just an endless row of houses. There's a level where it's just like indoor play places, like endlessly, all sorts of different levels. And the eeriness about it, where there's two things about the Backrooms that really drew people to it, that really drew a cult following to it. And the first thing was that it was really eerie in the sense that you felt like there should be people in these spaces, but there's no people. No matter how long you walk, you could walk for days, weeks, years, and there's no people.
Talk about a liminal space.
Talk about liminal, and they're very liminal. So I would say those are like kind of the two. It was they're eerie and they're liminal. That's the two things that drew people towards them.
And I'd say too, one side thing also that adds to the like eeriness is that you can be in the room, but like there's an element that's missing, right? Like a reality that's missing from it. Yeah. So there's like you're saying, there's scenes where it's like a street with houses, and you're walking. It shows you like walking around, and you're like, something's missing though. Like it's not normal, and it gives you that feeling everywhere. Like all the scenes you're looking at, and
yeah. And in like 2021 or was it 2020? I think it was 2021 or maybe 2022. But that's when a kid named Kane Parsons, I say kid, I think he was like 16 or 17 at the time, he started developing his own storyline for these Backrooms. And he created a bunch of like found footage videos that he put on his YouTube channel. And they became immediately popular. I mean, millions and millions of different views. And it's all from like a 1990s camcorder perspective, found footage. And it was super popular. There's this company named Async, and they accidentally discovered an entryway into the Backrooms, and so now they're experimenting with the Backrooms and trying to like discover more about them, doing research, trying to understand them, just trying to science them. And then there's people who are constantly
cataloging it, right?
Yeah. And then there's people who are constantly falling into the Backrooms, and they're trying to find their way out, and they're lost and afraid and panicked, and sometimes they run into these async scientists who are wearing these massive
you got like normal people, and then you run into you think they're probably aliens or something in there because they're wearing these suits and stuff.
Massive quarantine suits.
Yeah, regular people too. But
and so they were awesome videos. I loved them when they came out. They were extremely niche when they really first came out, and I couldn't really talk to anybody about them because no one knew what they were. Like, who's this kid? Like, he just made these videos. But I loved them because they were they were kind of ASMR for me, because I would put them on while I was working, and it would just kind of be on in the background.
Sure.
Like an hour-long exploration of the Backrooms. They were great and awesome. I love them. Well, long story short, a little studio called A24 reached out to Kane Parsons. Kane Pixels is his YouTube channel. And they wanted to make a Backrooms movie with him based on his version of the lore. Because remember, this is his version of the lore, because like when something
he kind of picked up the mantle. No one else really was. So that lore is kind of the main lore.
Yeah, well, he's the one who like made it popular.
Right. There's other lore, but
there's other versions.
Everyone knows it through him.
Right.
Primarily.
Because like his version of the lore doesn't really have like levels, quote unquote, and it has entities, but like not really the same kind of entities as a lot of people. It's just because honestly, like, it's an internet niche. There really are no rules.
Right.
Like, if you want to make your own version of it,
it's a free story.
Just make your own version of it. Yeah. Like, I couldn't make Kane Parsons' version of it because that's his version.
Right.
But I could make my own version of the Backrooms. Like, the Backrooms as a concept is not copyrighted.
No.
And so they reached out to him, wanted to make a movie. And this was like, this was a while ago. It took a long time to get this movie made.
Yeah.
And finally they got the movie made, and I was like super pumped and excited to see this movie. And we went and we watched it just a couple of weekends ago. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. But we went and we watched it. And Nate, tell me what you thought of the movie. Tell me about your experience watching the Backrooms movie.
My experience, I won't say completely disappointed, but I won't say completely satisfied either. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. And I don't have quite as deep of a background with this subject as you do, but I've been caught up with all the videos and things, and I was like, there just was like a lot more they could have expounded on, and they could have gone in a different direction to maybe explain a little more. Mm-hmm. But objectively, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a good like thriller type mystery. Yeah, it's intriguing. It's intriguing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think for me, the actual experience of being in the theater was a little different because it was hot in the theater. It was crowded and smelly, and it was just like a bunch of teenagers. And I'm like,
yeah,
well,
they're all making noise.
It was. I mean, we were there. That was me at one point. In time.
We all had that moment of like, yeah, we were dumb like that too.
Yeah,
but
that was us.
Now that I'm adult, I don't want you here.
Yeah,
get out of here.
Now that I'm
adult
to pay attention and I'm old, I just want to watch the movie. It's funny. We went back to that theater a week later.
Yeah,
and it was like it wasn't
time?
Crowded at all, but it was still really hot in that theater.
Yeah.
But anyway, the movie. So the movie.
Tell me what you thought of the movie.
So it's somewhat of a conflicting feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the movie because I got to see something that I was passionate about for many years on a big screen.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like feeling like you're in a secret club because so many people on social media, what are the Backrooms? What is this movie about? Like everyone's talking about this movie, and I'm like, oh well, let me tell you, I know what the Backrooms are.
It's the same feeling you get like when you recommend a movie or a show to somebody for like ever, and then they finally watch it and they come to you like, dude, that was the best show I've ever seen, and you're like, I know, and I've been telling you.
I know.
I've only been telling you for a year to watch it.
So it kind of felt like that, like
finally been like.
It felt weird because watching Backrooms footage was something that I only ever did by myself when I was on my own, like usually during a work day when I.
And it was really niche for a long time.
Yeah, and so it was a very private thing for me that I didn't like watch it with other people.
Right.
So for suddenly everyone to be talking about it, I was like, whoa, like
Wait.
This feels kind of weird, but I'm kind of like excited at the same time.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of was my first reaction. Like the very beginning of the movie, there's like found footage kind of like perspective, and I was like, oh yeah, it's like, and then the whole Async logo
gives
like,
you the 80s. I don't know what that would be called, but the like digital vibe was really cool.
It was very analog.
Analog, that's it.
And so the movie itself, I'll say, I mean, I'll try not to give any spoilers here or anything, but I was kind of conflicted about the story. There was a lot about the story I felt like was good. It was a story that was at the pacing of what I would expect from something made by Kane. Like that was absolutely his
little bit of a slower burn.
Absolutely his kind of pacing. But there were a lot of like threads that weren't really finished in the story. I don't know if that was intentional. I have a feeling they're going to make a second one. I mean, considering how well it did, they'd be like stupid not to make a second one.
Yeah.
But I think that would answer that for me, is if they're going to make a second one and try and answer some of those threads a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were a little misleading in the characters. You kind of got invested in one character, and then they kind of swapped to a different character. You're like, well, all right, what's going on here? And so it didn't make it hard to follow. It just made it a little off-putting
for sure
in the end, because you kind of thought something else was going to happen.
Right.
Well, that didn't happen at all.
Right. And I think the biggest maybe letdown for me was it ended up being very much horror, scary focused, which is exactly what I was hoping it wouldn't be.
Right.
And it ended up being that. And for me, the thing that I always loved about the Backrooms was the just ambient, atmospheric liminality of it. The whole like
let your mind kind of make up
the whole like the exploration part,
or the
getting lost in the abyss of like just the abyss of this unknown world, and it goes on and on and on and on and on in infinity. Like that is kind of the liminality aspect was for me what I loved the most about the Backrooms.
Liminality, the unknown, right? The unknown factor of like, what is this world? It's limitless, right? I mean, it can go on forever. You've got the corporation doing weird experiments, and then people falling in and like getting lost, and nothing makes sense. You got little doors, big doors, all these hallways and passageways and things moving in the background, and they kind of didn't really focus as much on that as they did more of the like scary horror theme.
Yeah. And I understand, because like that is a part of his lore.
Sure.
But they definitely leaned into it more, and I think that was kind of a little bit of like, oh man, I wish they had been more. Just kind of I wish we had saw more of Async. I wish we had saw more of the Backrooms. Like I wish we had seen more of that. But I understand that can be difficult to do, because they physically built the entire Backrooms set, and you can't really physically build like a never-ending
rooms.
Yeah, you can't really physically build that.
You need a lot of rooms.
Maybe you could build it, record it, and then tear it down and rebuild. That'd be really expensive.
That would be insane.
But overall, I still thought it was a good film.
Yeah,
I'd probably give it like 7.
Yeah,
around a 7 out of 10.
6.5, 7 is solid.
But here's what I knew would happen. But here's something that did happen that I think is important to talk about, is how successful it was. I mean, it outperformed a Disney movie the same weekend. I think the Disney movie was like something about the Mandalorian, Grogu, or something like that. Yeah,
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah. And it like did better than that movie, and so I think the Backrooms was, I want to say, like triple confirmation of something that's been happening that people have been aware of, a trend that's been happening that people are aware of for a while, and that it's number one, Hollywood's been dying, in the sense that, and as a result of a lot of things, a lot of factors, including the many writer strikes and everything, films just like aren't getting made like they used to get made, because
and they're tanking in the box.
They're tanking like because they're making stuff that people don't want to see. They're injecting their own agendas that people don't care about, and the costs are getting extremely high. Hollywood has been dying for the better part of 10 years.
Yeah, and this is a trend of becoming obsolete. Is what it really is, right? These are the characteristics you see of like old techniques that are no longer working. Yeah. They're timing out, and they're trying desperately to hold on, but it's just not working.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the second thing is just the popularity of like self-made personalities. Like, like YouTube has only grown in like popularity. Like, consider
invested in YouTube a long
time. Yeah, there's a lot of things that we could have invested in, but just think of like how a lot of people, myself included, like YouTube's their primary entertainment consumption. And that wasn't really the case 15, 20 years ago.
YouTube is TV now. Yeah. It never was TV before.
It is. Ever. Yeah. And I think, especially with people like Markiplier, who came like several months before the Backrooms. Markiplier, he produced a film called Iron Lung, and it's based off of a video game, like an indie game that he had played and he really enjoyed. And his movie, like, it outperformed a Disney movie that weekend. And that was like, that had people in shock. Wow. Is it really possible that a self-made YouTuber can make a film that performs better than a Hollywood film in the box office? Wow. Then comes along Kane Parsons. And it's a little different because, like, Kane Parsons, A24, can we really say it's not a Hollywood film? But the whole point is that it is Kane Parsons' film, and it performed better than a Hollywood film in the box office. And I think the whole idea is, wow, the landscape of what it takes to be successful as a filmmaker is changing. You don't need hundreds of millions of dollars, especially in Markiplier's case. Like, you don't need that to make a good story and a good film. You don't need to move to LA and hope to make it big,
right?
To like produce films or be an actor. You don't need to do that anymore.
You don't need to catch the eye of that one guy who's got all the money to fund your project, right? I mean, you can make it happen without some big studio backing you. Not that you don't need help, but it used to be you move out west and you just hope and pray for that one opportunity that one person sees what you can do and they decide to invest in you, and it's not that way anymore.
And like 90% of films just never get made because it's so expensive to get films made that it's it's like a gatekeeping to get films made. Well, with AI, things have gotten even cheaper. Because especially with like a hybrid filmmaking format where you're not using AI to make the entire film, but you're using it to do certain parts like VFX work, things like that.
Or just demonstrate like a sample of what your story or what you can do. And as it gets better, like it's open to the public, right? Like I could go online and get a subscription to an AI platform that would develop my story, that would animate it, that would do whatever I need it to do for the most part, and look realistic enough to get my point across. And then I can post it online, also free, and gain a huge following, and then acquire funds that way.
Because that's the thing about Markiplier and Kane is like they spent time nurturing a following. They spent time nurturing an audience.
Right. That was the legwork they put in.
That is the legwork they put in. People that wanted to see them, wanted to watch them, were interested in what they had to say and the content they had to make. And so that's where most of the attention came from. That's also kind of where a lot of the funding came from. So I wouldn't necessarily say that there's no more gate, but I would say that the gate's gotten a lot smaller.
It's eroding.
It's gotten a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And it is possible now for Joe Schmo in his basement to make something successful. I mean, there's fully AI series. There's series on like a episodic series on YouTube that are fully AI and get millions and millions of views.
Oh yeah,
because it's well done. See, like you no longer have to like be a good storyteller and hope you get noticed. Now you just have to be a good storyteller and be able to bring that story to life. So it made me think about something. It made me think about Christian movies. The reason it made me think about Christian movies is because I feel like money, or like I feel like Hollywood was kind of like an obstacle for Christian films for many years.
A big wall.
Because I remember growing up and Christian movies weren't unwatchable. It's not like they weren't terrible.
No.
But they were terrible.
It just was like an attitude of like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
You know, like you'd be like, we're doing the real movies over here, but then you got the Christian movies like over in the corner, like playing with the toys and stuff. And that was always the feeling you got when you're like, oh, this is a Christian movie? All right, we'll see. We'll see how it does.
It's almost like you have those cheesy Hallmark movies at Christmas.
Yes. They feel like off-brand movies.
Yeah, they kind of feel like cousins. Yeah. Like cheesy Hallmark movies, Christian movies, like they were kind of like the cousins. And they always had like cheesy titles like Saved by a Prayer or something like that.
Right.
And like the cheesiest like movie poster, like it's like everyone's like smile. It's anyway.
Yeah.
But there were some good ones that like were decent. I think
they've gotten better.
I think the movie Courageous was one of them. They were just like it's a decent movie.
I think isn't Fireproof?
Fireproof was another one about the guy's.
It still
marriage.
had moments. I think I watched that recently, and it was like still moments. I'm like, that's a Christian film.
Very
moment
cheesy
right
moments,
like,
but yes. And I think what the pivot of filmmaking has done is it's given an opportunity for people to, like filmmakers, to really bring Christian entertainment out of that niche, because it's always been in that niche of like very gimmicky, cheap plastic, like not that great, but like we'll put it on if we're in a dentist's office kind of thing.
Knockoff
like
film.
We can bring that out now because there is no giant studio iron gatekeeping anymore. And I think that we've started to see that too.
Oh, for sure.
I think Angel Studios, Angel Studios is mainly a distributor, but I think that Angel Studios has proven that
they've gained enough following that they can now invest in more movies and actually, instead of distributing, but they can always put their money into developing too and actually making the content that they're pushing out. Yeah,
because it's crowdfunded. Because Culture kind of did this thing where they treated half of the country like idiots, and those people said, okay, well, we're tired of being treated this way and have your perspectives like shoved down our throat. We're gonna do things and make films and stuff like that. That's what we want to take, like that has stuff in it that we're interested in, which turns out just normal people doing normal things.
Well, and you had other institutions like coming up. Was it the Daily Wire? They make their own movies and stuff too.
Yep.
You know, it was very much, you saw these independent film like companies springing up everywhere and giving a challenge to the general Hollywood companies that have so far guarded the door to success, and they did surprisingly well. I think that Daily Wire put out like 2 films, maybe 3 now. I don't know.
Oh, there's a handful.
They did really like
some of them
shockingly well for what people thought they were going to do.
And again, a lot of that has to do with like the ability to establish yourself as a personality, to establish yourself as a influencer, and to like
not be apologetic for being leaving the story how it is, right? That's one thing you see Hollywood struggling with right now, is all these agendas and all these motivations are turning people away.
Oh yeah.
Right? I mean, there's a limit. There's being liberal, which Hollywood's always been more on the liberal side, but they've always kind of stayed true to like good stories. Yeah. But now you're seeing them shift so hardcore that it's as if you're listening to a song and the guitarist just randomly starts going into a solo and it makes no sense. You're like, all right, you're bringing it, it feels forced. Like they're bringing up a topic that didn't naturally spring up, and everyone sees it. It's right on the nose. You're like, come on, really? Yeah. And you roll your eyes and you say, why did I even bother watching this, right? So that's where they're losing an audience, and then all those people are going over and saying, these people might not, I might not agree with everything they're saying, but at least they're just putting their opinion out there and not being, not backing down and being apologetic for everything that they do, right? Because there's some value to confidence in saying, this is what I believe. You like it or you don't.
Yeah, if you don't like it, leave. You just go watch something else.
Don't watch it. There's everything out there. You don't have to watch my movie.
Yeah, and I think now is a time where conservative, like particularly Christian filmmakers, need to continue the momentum. Because we've seen the momentum on places like Angel Studios. Like the success of Sound of Freedom was a huge success.
Oh, yeah.
Sound of Hope, which was a follow-up that was produced in part with the Daily Wire, was another successful film. And there's this other one, what was it? Something about the dark, Brave the Dark. That was another Angel Studios film that was very successful.
Yeah.
We need to continue that momentum, particularly in the age of AI.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say, and you're starting to see too, there are like actors, like famous actors, getting on board with some of these studios. I think Dennis Quaid, and I don't know this for sure, but I believe he played in at least one of the Christian films that did better than most. And there's another actor that is pretty famous, and he's actually like the kind of the face of Angel Studios right now, one of them. But he, in the past, he was standing up in Hollywood and saying like, I'm not going to be in a movie where I kiss another woman because I believe my wife is the only woman that I should be kissing, and he got backlash for that. That was a while ago, but like now he's still famous. He's been in a ton of movies, but he's now on board with Angel Studios and doing some of the stuff with them, and it's cool to see like that they're coming out and kind of revealing like, hey, this is also what we kind of believe over here, and giving actors and actresses a place to go when they feel outed in Hollywood, or when they don't feel like they can express their faith or their whatever they believe. So it's kind of cool to see that developing too, and that's only going to bring more people from, I guess, the more secular Hollywood side over to Angel Studios and the other Christian film companies. Yeah,
I think that AI is changing the landscape even quicker, because I think the Angel Studios model works. I think it's done very well.
Yep.
But I think that the content creators especially like the YouTube, Twitch spheres, need to start building momentum using AI in ways that they can, because in kind of the career that I'm in, I know for a fact that Hollywood is trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? they're trying to take over AI and gatekeep that. That's what they're trying to do.
Right.
Because there are these studios that still have millions of dollars, and they're like trying to quickly adopt AI so that they can stay relevant. And I think that we're in a position right now where I get that there is a lot of hostility around AI. I know that it's not going away. AI is not going away.
Oh, no.
And I know that there's always going to be people that are hostile towards it. But particularly as Christian filmmakers, particularly those who know how to tell stories and know how to bring those stories to life as far as like directing a film, they really need to start taking advantage of those tools that are offered to them, because right now Hollywood is trying to build a structure where they dominate AI filmmaking. But we're at a point as an industry, as a culture right now, where anyone can use AI and become successful. We have to maintain that momentum. And so I think that particular Christian storytellers need to start learning how to leverage AI, because that's the only way that it can be done cheaply.
Right.
That's the only way that a small YouTuber can become a successful filmmaker, by using something like AI to help them. And again, it's a hybrid format, but by using AI to help them in this process. And so I think that's where Christians really need to start thinking about. I've been working on my own version of the Backrooms, actually. Like just today, I'm working on episode 1.
Nice.
And it's an episodic series that I plan on releasing that actually focuses on my version of the Backrooms, which is a lot more liminal. And I can tell that story.
Right.
And it's like we need, especially young people, to really be adventurously heading down those avenues to like start trying to tell these stories any way that they can, because it's just it's a sea right now, just full of people and voices trying to speak. And what we really need strong voices producing really good films using AI, so that people are reminded that Hollywood doesn't keep the gate anymore. They're not in charge anymore.
Even without the AI, just the first part is true. We need people making original stories again.
Yeah.
I was just overhearing a conversation about how it's, for the last, I don't know, few years, it's just been remakes, part 2s of like really old stories. Some of them good, some of them bad. Like they're not all not worthwhile, but some of them you're like, okay, you're taking a story that's already been done and continuing it. What's there to say? But then there are movies like, I think Scary Movie. I don't know what it's on now. Whatever the latest Scary Movie is, that was like the #1 movie in America right now. And when that came out, not that it wasn't ever good. I mean, it's funny, but it's a spoof movie. And so spoof movies never did as well as like your Disney's, your big time, like really invested story movies. And I'm like, that is telling right there. That Scary Movie, whatever number it's on, is the #1 movie over anything else that's out there. So you're seeing theaters die because Hollywood can't put out good content worth going to see. People don't want to pay money. I mean, it's multifaceted. Because you've got streaming too.
Right. I think streaming
is,
and YouTube is like one of the biggest things that has killed the theaters. Right. And kind of COVID too.
Yeah, COVID was the main nail in the coffin for them. But they're starting to come back. But I think if you had a Hollywood that was just pumping out originals, pumping out great movies, I think you would have people getting back into the nostalgia of going to theaters, because there is something nostalgic. But the movie theaters, especially the big ones, the one around us, the AMC or whatever, that's huge. And they have like not that many movies playing in there. I mean, they could have that place packed out, and they never do.
That place used to be packed out when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I still remember when that place was built. I was young, and when I was in high school, my friends and we would walk to that theater because I lived just a couple miles away. And almost every single weekend, we'd find ourselves there and like watch a movie, and it was packed.
We used to go watch movies when I was in college. We used to watch like at least one movie a week. We'd go see. If it wasn't the same movie twice, who knows, right? But it was like that was what we did. Was we just went to a movie. I mean,
yep.
And then now I'm finding myself like, I don't know, I go to movies maybe once every few months. there's nothing out there that
I think another one of the things that's bringing movie theaters back, because I agree they've started to sort of make a comeback. Mm-hmm. I think another one of the things that's done that is the offerings that they've had. Mm-hmm. They're not just booking theaters with Hollywood films, but it's like for example, when it was the anniversary of Lord of the Rings, they played all 3 of them in the theaters, and that was an awesome experience to go see them again in the theaters.
Oh, sure.
Right now, they're AMC is doing a Studio Ghibli like anniversary like run where they're just showing a bunch of Studio Ghibli films, and they also take shots with like lesser known films. Like that's why I think a couple of years ago you literally had a Daily Wire film that was in the theaters. Yeah. And like that was
you're seeing like, the theaters are grasping onto anything that might be popular, and they're saying, all right, we'll give it a chance, right? Places that used to just be about Hollywood. You were like, if you were a YouTuber, you were dreaming of having your content in a theater because that was the farthest thing you could possibly think of. And now, I mean, it's actually kind of a reality because they're looking at how popular these YouTube channels are, how much people watch YouTube, and they're saying, maybe there's something here. Maybe we put it in, maybe we put it in the theater and see what happens, right? And then you get these big followings. People come and see it because they've been following them for years, and they have this massive following. So it's cool to see them branching out, and it's cool to see that theaters aren't dying. But I would really like to see Hollywood get off their pride horse and just say, all right, look, we've been humbled. We need to go back to square one and reevaluate our process and get some good content.
I don't know if that's going to happen. I honestly think
it's going to have to burn down.
I think the landscape's changing irrevocably. And I think it's for the good.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, Hollywood for a long time was amazing. Yeah. Politically, maybe not so much, but they pumped out some amazing films. Some incredibly iconic films. You've got some of them on the wall. I mean, but it's like, they're just not doing that anymore.
No.
They're not pumping out films that you were like, I'll go see that 2-3 times. No. Yeah. It's like most of them, okay. I could have waited till it was that, you know, on my TV at home. Like, so it's kind of sad. But
Hollywood, or I should say YouTube, has changed the filmmaking industry in a lot of ways. But I also think it's changed other industries too. And it's very interesting because there's almost a group mentality with YouTube now where someone can come out with a series of videos on a certain topic or a certain story, certain corporation, and what's the guy's name? Johnny Harris does this all the time. Like he investigates a person or he investigates a subject or a company, and he does this like video, and YouTubers now like can influence a company. Like they can influence the public perception of a certain people.
They have a level of power.
Yeah.
Over the narrative,
which they never had before.
No,
because the internet for a very long time was just this niche thing that like guys did in their basement, like people like, oh, you're a nerd.
Was like utilitarian, like, okay, I'm doing it for a reason, but I don't just spend time on it hanging out, right?
Yeah,
it's not like a social thing. It was like I'm using it for something and then I'm off of it.
Yeah. Now that everyone's chronically connected, particularly Gen Z, it is a part of the fabric of our social consciousness. And I think if anything, there's this recent story from a guy or a YouTube channel named Reckless Ben that kind of showcases this. And Reckless Ben, he's a YouTuber, never heard of him before this story, but apparently he's one of those guys that goes and investigates like corrupt corporations and
wrongdoing,
specifically cults. Like he'll go and like investigate cults. Like they infiltrated.
I'm impressed he's still alive.
He infiltrated the Church of Scientology, stuff like that.
Especially after that one, because they're some messed up, crazy people.
And he took on this case. I suppose you could say this case. There's a guy in Oregon, and his name's Brian Mansell, and his father, elderly father, is like 82, had the largest Star Wars Lego collection in the entire world. And Brian Mansell, at his father's request, took the entire collection to a consignment shop called Bricks and Minifigs. Consignment is when you bring something that you have, so like my my retro collection, for example, if I brought all of my retro collection to a consignment shop, I'd say, here, I'm giving this for you to sell. Everything you sell, I get 60% of the profit. It's consignment. And that's what he wanted to do with the shop. It's like, here's, I'm going to give you everything you sell, I get 65% or 60% of the profit. And then when they signed the contract, he specifically had put in the contract that the merchant, like the sets were his until they were sold. Everything belonged to him until it was sold. Well, I don't know, maybe it was like a month or two after the consignment deal began. The store owner, the woman who owned the store, was pushed out by corporate. One night, corporate just showed up out of nowhere, and they kind of just like, pushed her out. And these two guys,
physically pushed her out.
Brandon and Joshua, like, took over the store. Well, this guy's like a part of this guy's collection was still there, because remember, a lot of it had been sold by this time, but part of this guy's collection was still there. And so he shows up. He says, "Oh, hey, like, you guys like are the new owners, I know, and everything. I'd like to get my collection back." And the new owners just acted like they had no idea what he was talking about. They're like, "What? No, we don't. I don't know what you're talking about."
Right.
No idea. And then they threatened to take him to court. Or like where what really happened is they said, "Well, you can sue us, but if you do, we'll drag this through the court and it'd be more pain than it's worth."
Right. You're going to be paying more money than your whole collection's worth.
So this Brian guy went home, really, really sad, like really just like in a lot of stress. And then he gets a hold of Reckless Ben. And Reckless Ben kind of starts his own investigation into this. It is wild. I recommend, if you're listening, go to YouTube channel Reckless Ben. There's 2 videos out. The third one isn't released because of a court order.
Oh, jeez.
But it is a wild story. This Bricks and Minifigs, they are a franchise. Corporate's based in Provo, Utah. The store that was doing the consignment, they're based in not Salem. They're based in Kaiser, Oregon. And the store at every single turn just like pretended like nothing was going, like nothing was wrong. Like there's no missing Legos. They didn't steal anybody's money. And this Reckless Ben in his videos, he's reckless for a reason. That's wild what he does. It is wild what he does to try and get these people to like get investigated by the cops, or like get them in trouble, or like get them to get the label because Spaghetti was back. Well, it turns out that the cops start mistreating Reckless Ben because he goes down to Provo, Utah, and he is trying to sue the owners of the store in Kaiser, Oregon. He's trying to sue them in small claims court. And so, yes, he goes all the way down to Oregon. Well, the American Fork Police Department, which is where the owners live, are like seriously corrupt. And this is probably the part that's made people more angry than anything, is how corrupt the American Fork Police Department had been in the way that they treated Ben, and everything that they've like tried to arrest him for and everything like that. And it's just, it's wild. I recommend you go watch it. Well, long story short, and I recommend you watch those 2 videos because you'll understand a lot better. Reckless Ben, I don't know if he's back in the country, but he had to flee the country because there was like a warrant out or something. And he's facing a lawsuit from the company, Bricks and Minifigs, $1 million lawsuit. And then he's facing charges from American Fork Police Department. And there was a GoFundMe that was started. Like, he started a GoFundMe so that he could at least give the money back to the Mencells that they were owed.
It's double now.
It's almost at like $500,000.
Yep.
And for a short time, that got taken down because of a court order, but then it got put back up. They tried to have Reckless Ben's Patreon taken down, but then
the president, the CEO came out.
CEO was like, "No, we're not doing that."
No,
because if you think about it, why would they? Like, Patreon's $1 billion company. Bricks and Minifigs is like a $400 million company.
Right.
Bricks and Minifigs would lose everything in court. So Patreon doesn't need to bend the knee. No. And now, like, Reckless Ben's under a gag order. Like, he can't say anything about the case. So he couldn't release his Part 3 video. Nothing. Yeah. It's just gotten wild.
Part of me thinks too, it's like, because they went on to claim that he's just doing this for clicks and likes and everything, and yeah, partially right, because like that's what he's all about, is investigating and bringing to light some messed up stuff.
Right.
But I think it's interesting how the whole thing probably could have been resolved so many different ways. Like, first, I mean, he had such a big following. He probably could have started the GoFundMe right from the beginning and said, hey, there's this messed up story, and just done like a Johnny Harris style video on it. And he probably would have been able to raise pretty close to the amount of money.
True, but
without all of the...
True, but then the company and the police department would have gotten away.
But that's the other part of it, right? Yeah. Where it wasn't just about the money. It was about the narrative of you wronged somebody, tried to steal their stuff,
right? And
we don't stand for that,
right?
And I think he did a great job of pointing out the power that people have, and in controlling the whole narrative, making your narrative louder than your opponents. I mean, you've seen that all throughout history. I mean, that's what Hitler did, right? Hitler wasn't right about a lot of the stuff he told the German people, but he said it loud enough and enough times that they started believing it, and then they got behind him, and that's what led to overwhelming support.
Yeah, and I think that would have taken, police investigators or hiring a private investigator.
Yeah.
It's just wild to see how the interconnectedness of people has really created this like almost crowdsourced investigation. And it's done many crazy things. There's a really big YouTuber named Coffeezilla. He is an investigator, and his whole channel is about investigating. And he has 4 million subscribers, and he just recently released his piece on it, an hour long, and he discovered new evidence. Like something about a U-Haul that was there, and the CEO, or it wasn't the CEO, but corporate lied about it completely. And then he found a photo of that night, and if you brighten it, bam, there's a U-Haul in the parking lot. And then if you go to Twitter, there's people that are literally like investigating the case as well. And it's been discovered that the McNeff brothers, because Ammon McNeff, who's the CEO, he has a brother, they sued their dad for like money, so that they could pour that money into Bricks and Minifigs, which was already failing at that point.
Right.
And that financially, like Bricks and Minifigs is like actually not doing well, and that the way that the corporate has like made their money is by franchising. Like like the amount of money that the franchisees have to give to corporate is like insane.
Oh, jeez.
And then internet sleuths have discovered that there are shell companies. There's all these different LLCs that track back to these like random buildings. Like one of them's like a random parking lot bagel shop in Anchorage, in like Alaska.
Oh, interesting.
And when Ben tried to file a small claims court against Bricks and Minifigs, the reason it wasn't successful is because he had the wrong business on his document. And it wasn't his fault. It was because Bricks and Minifigs had put the LLC on like the empty extension of the building next door.
Oh.
It's wild, man. And
that is
the reason I bring that up is just because it's been crazy to see how like culture is really changing, and how you can crowdsource investigations now.
Right.
And it doesn't
used to be like if you had a problem, you went to the police.
Yeah.
And if there was enough interest, you'd be lucky if they got a result. But if it wasn't like a murder or something,
and you can try,
good luck getting like
you can try and crowdsource your community.
Right.
Like maybe like southwestern
but
or southeastern
have
Michigan,
people from like out of state, helping you, getting on,
let alone millions of people,
and taking on their own legal
millions of people.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just wild, like kind of how that's shifting, and I think it's almost like there's an opportunity now. I think a lot of the story, at least, I think, have woken people up to the realization that, like, number one, corporations are corrupt, but number two, like, because of the shifting landscape of the interconnectedness of culture, there's more we can do about it now than we could 30 years ago.
It shocks me, honestly, that this company decided to fight this, because I know at first they probably thought, well, this is just some heckler, because he's just out there making a fuss. It's only one guy. But I would think by now that companies would understand the value of YouTube and social media presence. I mean, you can see this in the latest. There was a lawsuit about a murder. I forget the names involved, but basically somebody got stabbed, and it was like a pretty clear-cut case.
Are you talking about the Carmelo Anthony case?
Carmelo, yeah, that's it. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't read into it too much, but I read enough to see it was like very clear-cut and...
Tons of witnesses, yeah.
Tons of witnesses, but yet the GoFundMe raised almost $1 million and...
For a murderer.
Went to the family of the murderer, and the court case was actually questioned. Like, it should have been like no, you did that, and you're done. Oh no, we're going to debate it though. We're going to debate what actually happened.
I don't know if this is true, but so I don't take this with a grain of salt. But I think Carmelo had a public defender.
I think so.
And they raised how much money with the GoFundMe, and he had a public defender.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So that proves that there are no rules anymore, right? You don't have to just go through one channel to do that. And so that's why I say it's interesting that like they chose to fight this, because they should have known that, okay, we might be opening a can of worms. And the fact that we have to hire lawyers, like you would have thought, okay, at this point we are past, I think it was like $200,000 was the value of his set or something. I don't know. It was like $200,000 or $300,000. We're past that just in lawyer fees and everything.
Well, so the investigation that Coffeezilla did, he actually found that a more appropriate estimation of the value was around $107,000. But he also found that there's
his collection.
Yeah, for his collection. He also found that there's still a significant amount of it missing.
Yeah.
And I do think it's the case that the pictures that are painted in the videos aren't quite as bad as what is the reality. But what we do know is that the reality is that he is still missing money, and the man sells, and that corporate, like every single decision that corporate's made has been the worst decision. And I think that
like even
the decisions that they have made were the right decisions to make 30 years ago in a pre-digital connection culture. Those decisions,
good luck proving.
Yeah, those decisions would have worked if there was no YouTube or Reddit or Twitter or X. If there wasn't any of those platforms that have shone a light on this case, and now you have people showing up to like the board meetings at American Fork, Utah, and they're like urging for an investigation of the police department, rightly so. And so all that to say, as with the changing landscape of filmmaking, there's a changing landscape of culture right now. And I wouldn't say that there's no rules, but I would say that the rules are changing.
Much bigger call for transparency.
Oh, for sure, for honesty. And I think that what it's done is it makes people into more honest people, good and bad. That's where we get the we have a lot of Nick Fuentes kind types of people who, Asmongold would kind of be one of them, who are maybe a little bit more far right than you or I would be, but they're able to be more honest now. Like there's no reason.
There's no handcuffs
to hide.
anymore.
There's no handcuffs. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there's no handcuffs.
And so when there's riots and people are burning down homes and cars in Belfast, I'm on the side of, these people should not be like attempted beheading people in the middle of the street. Like this is what a rampant illegal immigration does. Islam is not compatible with Western society.
It's not trying to be compatible.
That's my belief. There's a lot of people who are a lot more extreme than I would be, who are like, we should just round them up and like shoot them or like send them, just put them on a boat. And I'm telling you, like these people have millions of followers.
Yeah.
And
that would never be the case though before.
The same type of culture, because again, remember the culture is changing. That same kind of culture allows transparency and transparency and accountability, but it also allows these people to be more honest and to have a more
sometimes
following.
a bit more extreme
than
they would normally
and
be.
I think that what we're seeing, I think that we're going to continue to see the rise of like neo-nationalism, like a new type of nationalism that does lead to things like a neo-Nazism. It does lead to things like that. Yeah. I think we're going to continue to see that.
Oh, for sure.
And I think we'll have to reconcile it with it. But I ultimately think that it's a good thing that the interconnectedness of our society and culture has become like the studio light, and it's just shown a lot that people didn't see before. I mean, just think of the Epstein files.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's shown a lot that people didn't. And in my opinion, it just shows how wicked people are.
Oh, it does. It does. It's like the light doesn't always reveal what you want to see. And oftentimes it actually reveals what you don't want to see, which is a lot of corruption, things that you can no longer have faith in because you thought were good. They're not so good. You know, you see that even like charities and stuff, the same thing. Like things will come out, people will do their own investigation, and there are actual legitimate tools that you can use, and you can call on people from the public, from other states, through the internet, who have even better tools to investigate, and they have experience from military and all kinds of different backgrounds that can contribute to like a report. And so you can take a subject and run way further now than you ever could with it. And that's how all this stuff is coming out. Because like I went to the police, my dog's missing. I went to the police. They don't really care because they're busy with some murderer who's, whatever. And then you put a post, it used to be like, I got to print off a paper now and put it on a light post and hope that somebody saw my dog or whatever. No, now I can put it on the internet, and some guy who has a YouTube page all about finding dogs is now taking it up and said, I have a drone. I'm going to go find your dog. Oh, I hacked, not hacked, but I have a video feed of this area, and I found the guy that took your dog. Whatever it is, that guy gets on your team too. And then, somebody else joins the team, and it's like you are now the internet Avengers, and you're like, assemble, and they're all coming, and they're like, here, I've got this piece that's going to push you a little further. And then it's almost making the police obsolete because they're not helping you at all. And in some cases, like this case, they're actually hurting you because you're exposing their corruption and their lack of willingness to help you, the right person, get what you need to get. And yeah, it's wild. It's different times, so good and bad coming out of it. But it's
all because of those backrooms, man.
Seriously.
I'm telling you, if I found myself in the backrooms, like I'm probably going to die, but
yeah,
I'll have fun while I'm there.
I'm not sure how long I would want to be there, but
yeah. I guess depends on your version of the lore, but I think one version of the lore is that once you get into the backrooms, you can't get out. That was one of the criticisms of the movie, was that he was able to come and go as he pleased, but
I was curious about that because there was one moment I won't spoil it.
Yeah, that's okay.
I won't spoil it, but yeah, no, it's that was a criticism, and I was curious about that too. I was waiting for that movie or that point in the movie, and I'm like, that he just kind of bounces back and forth. But
yeah, it was very interesting. Great actor though. I thought the actor was really good.
He did really good. He did really good. All the actors I think were very good actors and actresses, but they were all very good.
It's been good to have you. Appreciate you having on the show.
Yeah, thanks
for
having
talking
me.
about culture.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff, crazy stuff going on right now.
I know,
but
crazy world we live in.
Absolutely. But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves an awesome weekend.